Where does your morality come in? Where does your sense of bioethics come in? Do you have any problem with taking humans and animals and merging them in this thing called chimeras? Remember the 70s, there was a commercial for chiffon. Remember chiffon? Margarine, it says it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Now, Elon Musk and Neuralink is talking about trying to plant chips and rather than go through this, rather than go through each individually, I want to discuss with you right now the notion of where does your morality come in? What about transhumanism? Again, the notion of taking animals and taking the rules of nature that God has provided and changing them and saying, you know what? We're going to do things our way. We're going to adapt and twist and tweak. We're going to fix things and shape things and redirect things. What are the limits? That's what you're going to have to decide. But first, you're going to have to like this video. That's right. You're going to have to subscribe to this channel. And you're going to have to also make sure you hit that little bell so you're notified of new videos and streaming and the like. And by the way, while we're at it, there's one thing that never changes, and that is the necessity of sleep. And that's why I want to mention our sponsor, MyPillow. That's right. And if you put in the promo code Lionel, you get a free gift. That's right. Not just a gift, but a free gift. Not just a gift you pay for, which kind of obviates, negates the notion of a gift. Anyway, doesn't matter. When it comes to pillows and blankets and duvets and comforters and slippers and everything, they are the best. Remember, write this down. Very simple. Plus, I got a link for you right here. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Look at what you can get. We're a MyPillow family household, and so will you. I want you to understand something. My ethics are internal. My ethics are me. My morality is me. It has nothing to do with the Bible, nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with anything you might have heard or were told or you might think is important. I have this internal sense of what is right and what is wrong and what works and what doesn't, and that is it. And when it comes to the notion of transhumanism, of saying, you know what, we can do better than these arms. We can do better. What do you think cataract surgery is? What do you think prosthetics are? What do you think? Well, what's wrong with that? That's transhumanism. What if I say, you know what, let's just fix this. Let's fix this. Years ago, there were parents who wanted to take their kids who were involved in baseball, and they wanted to give them Tommy John surgery before they actually needed it. Think about that. Actually, take whatever the Tommy John surgery, I don't know what the hell it is. But they said, oh, we can't do this. Why not? Why not? If I find out, you know what, let's just put in new lenses. These eyes, they're no good. They're prone to cataracts. I got these new things. Let's put these new ones in there. You know, these knees aren't worth a damn. Let's put in the new ones now. Let's put in these great shock absorbers now. You'll never have a bum knee. You're okay now. You don't need them. First, do no harm. What, are you kidding me? The idea of animal, human chimeras, these unique transmogrified heart valves from pigs and porcine valves, and what's wrong? Now let me ask you this. When does God come in and say, now wait a minute, hold it, this isn't the way I wanted it, this isn't the way I do things, this isn't, no, stop this. Excuse me, God, you don't know what you're doing. Neuralink, it helps people. We're going to put an implant. We're going to help the disabled. What's wrong with that? Is that really what you're doing? No, but that's what we're saying we're doing. I'm going to throw one at you. You ready for this? You're going to love this. Do I believe in UFOs? I've never seen one. I don't know about the actual proof. I would probably err on the side that, oh yes, they do in fact exist. Because what we are seeing is not indicative of particular craft, though there could be, maybe, military or otherwise, but these are probably from someplace else, okay? Years ago, there was a fellow named Philip Corso, and he wrote a book, one's called Day After Roswell. And the thesis was that when these craft crashed in 47 in Roswell, they did reverse engineering and discovered transistors, fiber optics, night vision goggles by using the lenses of these, I guess now dead, critters, these grays or whatever they were that landed. Transistors were found. And there was something interesting. It was, and I might be mixing my stories. Maybe it's Bob Lazar. I don't know. Sue me. But supposedly they were in this craft. It was kind of like machine molded or molded where they sat in, they put their hands in this, I don't know, positioning. They put this headband on them, and they were flying around using their thoughts. They became almost like a transistor. And what happened was, you can reverse engineer all you want, but if you don't have the wherewithal to recreate whatever it was they had to do this, you can't fly by telepathy. But maybe they did make some advancements. And maybe what we're seeing right now is something that is a version of that. And that's why the reason why this was always kept quiet wasn't because of the government. It was to keep private industry away, or to keep this particular secret for them. There was a story I read, and I've always been intrigued by it. And I don't know if it's true, obviously, but I'm going to tell you this, just to let you think about it as a thought experiment. Supposedly, the story was, if I recall correctly, there was a nurse. A nurse walks into this examining room or this hospital where one of these critters, one of these life forms were injured. So the nurse walks in and sees this thing and all of a sudden realizes it's talking to me. She's realizing that there is this communication going on, and she knows this isn't just thoughts. This thing's talking to her. And she never knew, she's never experienced anything like this. She's never had somebody talk to her. And she says, do I send it back? I mean, how did he do that? Now that's got to be tough. What if we could read minds? What if we could move things by virtue of our minds? Not our brains, our minds. Not the hardware, the software. How wonderful if somebody would say, I'm paralyzed. No, you're not. No, you're not. We know how to fix that. We'll take care of that. You would say, wonderful. Thank you for that. You wouldn't sit there and say, God, is this okay? Do you mind if I tamper or tinker with the body? No, be my guest. Okay. Well, where do you stop? What if you realize, what if somebody says, and they've seen this before, we're going to have a mother give birth to a child in order to have the stem cells to promote. Where do you say no? Where do you and when do you say no to this? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could sit there and actually could talk to people? What if there was no need for language? No. How do you turn off thoughts? If you're walking down the street, if you're walking down Columbus Avenue and all of a sudden you're hearing, are you hearing people's thoughts? Is there a way to filter this? That's one of the reasons why they believe that these critters never really had mouths, because they said they didn't talk. Talking was for the birds. Talking was anachronistic. Talking was ridiculous. Talking, not anachronistic, but it was archaic. You don't communicate through talk. You communicate through feelings. This is ridiculous. Words are lost. Words are lost by virtue of your inability, your paucity of language skills. No, the best way to speak is through just speaking. Well, throw into the mix Neuralink. What if somebody says, we've got this research that we never really knew before, but now through quantum computing and maybe through AI, we'll merge this together. And I say there is no end to this. What if I could take someone who was a serial killer and I found out why they did it? And I just go in there and, not a lobotomy, I turn this off. Is that okay? Then okay. What if I take somebody who said, what do you do? You have suffered the worst, the most traumatic case. Let's say a woman who was attacked or sexually assaulted, or somebody with PTSD, or a child who went through the most unimaginable, this inhumane version of horror that one could ever explicate or limb or even describe or explain or even understand. What if I said, no problem, memory's gone, it's gone, nighty-night. Hey, that was great. What's this scar from? It's a long story. Don't worry. And then people come to you and they say, wow, this is amazing, this is terrific. I've got something I want to lose too. I had a very terrible time. Okay. And I said, wait a minute. What if there are thousands of people. What if I could take the horrors of World War II, thousands of people, sad to say, many of them, by virtue of their age, are no longer with us, but let's say there was a time when they were. What if I said, I can do this, I've got a treatment where I can take thousands of you. A very simple procedure, no surgery, just I know exactly how to ablate, disconnect your memory. And pretty soon, not only have they forgotten, but this historical event is no longer there. It doesn't exist anymore because I've made it go away. I have destroyed it. I have killed the memory of it. Remember the expression, never forget? They forgot, but it's therapeutic. What if by virtue of transcranial electromagnetic and zap, and I found out exactly, you know what? I know exactly where the religious portion is. What it is that what fires in order to make people feel religious. If somebody says, Doc, I've been noticing something. I don't really have the same kind of faith I used to. I don't feel the same. Maybe that's a natural progression. Maybe that's a natural lessening of. They say, no, I'll fix this. I'll just fine tune you, bring you right up to speed, and now you are a Bible thumping. You are Elmer Gantry. You are, praise God. You are ready to go. What if a couple comes together and they say, listen, we're having some problems. We don't feel the same. I don't feel the same. Maybe there was a moment of maybe indiscretion or whatever, and our marriage is on the rocks. No problem. We also found out that part about the brain. It's believe it or not, it's a version of the obsessive compulsive disorder portion of the brain. And we're going to do a little parietal thing, and we're going to surgically, electrically stimulate that portion, and we're going to artificially jumpstart, like alligator clips, on the love part of your brain. And we're going to artificially bring you up to speed. How do you like that? It's unnatural. It never would have occurred in real life. And for all practical purposes, if there were the usual instances of attrition and the like, you would be long gone. But we're going to fix that. We're going to circumvent that. Do you see one day your God saying, what the heck are you doing? You are not allowing things to happen normally. What do you mean normally? I'm preventing divorces. I'm helping people forget traumatic events of your life. What are you talking about? And then God would say to you, but you can't ablate, expunge, bowdlerize, expurgate portions of memory because the event never occurs. What is history? You're destroying history. No, I'm not. I'm destroying portions of what you call history that are painful. But history is painful. And it's important sometimes for us to experience pain for us to grow. Well, tell that to some victim who wakes up in the middle of the night with night terrors. Tell them that. Do you see where we're going? The questions are beyond fascinating. And we're going to get back with this subject. But in the meantime, don't forget, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And don't forget, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, get a free gift. And whatever you do in the meantime, I ask, beseech, entreat, and import you and you to comment as you see fit.